I forgot to tell y'all a story earlier that I promised my sister I would do this. So about 5 years ago, my sister got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had metastasized to her liver and her kidney. And then about 7 months ago, she got declared cancer-free. 100%, all glory to God on that. It was His hand, His miracle. But to get cancer-free, she had to go through 2 horrible surgeries and 3 rounds of chemo. And so a while back, she said to me, she said, when you turned 50, you used to do a story about your first colonoscopy. She said, this year when you do a show, will you bring that back so maybe somebody in the audience will be reminded, go get a colonoscopy and they won't have to go through what I went through, because her doctor told her she had pre-existing conditions. He said, you need to get a colonoscopy like every year, 2 years at the worst, and she didn't do it for 10 years, and that's why it happened. So I told her I would do it, so if she calls y'all, you tell her he did it. So, and hell, maybe somebody here doesn't know what a colonoscopy is. In the Latin, the word colon means intestine, and oscopy means to attach a GoPro to a garden hose and ram it through it. I am almost positive that's what oscopy means. Now, there's 3 steps to a colonoscopy. First step is the pre-surgery consultation, which you're going to do a couple of weeks before the actual procedure. And please pay attention during the consultation. And I say that to you not because I did, but because I didn't. I'm a comedian. I'm trying to make people laugh. I looked at the doctor and I said, boy, I bet you meet a lot of assholes in this business, don't you? Not even a smile. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there now. Second step is the day before preparation, because before they put this camera through you, they want you completely cleaned out. Well, my wife had gathered all the ingredients for the preparation. She'd put them on the kitchen counter. She was out running errands, but she was texting me. Now, remember, at 3 o'clock, you're supposed to start your preparation. I'm like, I got it. Well, back then, the first part of it was you were supposed to mix 64 ounces of Gatorade with 10 large packets of Miralax. Now, the back of one packet of Miralax says, may cause loose and watery stools. 10 large packets of Miralax is guaranteed to clean out the Alaska pipeline. Now, if I had paid attention during the consultation, I would have remembered that you were supposed to spread the 64 ounces out over a period of 3 hours. I don't remember hearing that. So I mix it all together and I down that 64 ounces in 8 minutes and 34 seconds. And I know this because I timed myself so I could brag to my brother about it. Now the only thing remaining on the counter is a bottle of something called magnesium citrate. 2 drops of this stuff will pull the Eiffel Tower out of the earth. And I remember the doctor saying everybody needed to drink at least half a bottle, but some people might have to drink the whole bottle. And I thought, well, I don't want to have to come back later and do this again. So I just popped that top, I pinched my nose, and I chugged the whole thing. And now in just under 10 minutes, I completed my preparation procedure that was supposed to take 4 hours. And boy, it did not take long for my stomach to start making noises. They were noises like the fireplace in the Amityville Horror, like. which point my underwear tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Run!" The first volley took my feet off the ground. I was physically afraid, and I watch a lot of rodeo. Only thing I could think to do was put a glove on my left hand, get some rope, tie myself to the toilet seat, and hold on. I passed everything I have ever eaten in my entire life. I passed things I had only thought about eating. I passed things my neighbors had eaten. I passed a red bicycle we keep in the garage. And 1 hour later, what was coming out of me was so pure it could be legally declared mountain spring water. I was ready for my test. So I get up the next morning, I go down to the hospital. This was the part I was dreading the most. Ends up it's the easiest of the 3 steps. Thanks to a little IV they give you with propofol in it. What lovely stuff that is. They put that needle in my arm. I was like, ow. Gone. And when I woke up, the doctor was standing over me. She's like, "Hey, you with us? Hey, it's all over." I was like, "All over? I didn't even know you did it." She was like, "Yeah, everything looked great. You're not going to have to do this again for 5 years." I was like, "Oh, that makes me so happy." And she left. And I thought, why have I been dreading this much? Seriously, nothing to it. So it took me a minute or so, and I kind of sat up and had one of them little hospital gowns on, but I had a plastic bag on the bed with my clothes and shoes and phone in it, and I start to untie that gown, and this nurse walks in, and she goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." She goes, "What do you think you're doing?" I said, "Well, the doctor said everything was great, so I guess I'm going home." She said, "Guess again?" I said, "Why can't I go home? It's over." She said, "Well, in order to get that camera through you, they have to inflate your intestines with air, and you can't go home until you give that air back." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "I will." She said, "Well, I have to verify that you do." And at this point, I noticed she's holding a pen and a clipboard. And y'all, I remember career day in high school. Nobody told us we could get paid good money for rating farts on a clipboard. Because I have friends that do this all the time for free. But here's the problem. I was raised in the South, and my mother taught me never to do this in front of a woman, especially a woman I don't know. So even though I really need to do what she's hoping I will do, I can't do it. I just hear my mom's voice, and I lock up. And she is frustrated, because she's got other work to tend to. And she finally goes, "Mister," she goes, "I've about had it with you." She said, "I want you to get back in that bed. You get down on all fours, and you lower your shoulders to that mattress." And when I get in that position, I can tell this lady knows what she's talking about, because this is about to work. So this was my thought process. I thought, okay, if I'm going to embarrass myself in front of this woman I don't know, why not do like I did with the preparation, just get it all over with at one point? So I thought back to my wife's childbirth classes. And that breathing technique they taught her. And I did the big push, just like they showed my wife. Y'all, what came out of me was so loud and so long, Fred Flintstone clocked out from work. And I said, "Can I go home now?" And she said, "Please do." So there's your reminder. Get a colonoscopy.